Alex, how's it been back into pre-season training? How come you couldn't beat Hayden Ballantyne in the 2K time?
Oh, first question. I couldn't get away with it, could I? All right, first of all, it's been very nice to get back. It's always good to see some new faces like we have done this year. And yeah, after such a long break and myself spending a bit of time overseas, it's good to get back amongst it and just get back to some footy again, which is really good. On the Hayden Ballantyne thing, well, I regret to say we had a bit of a bet before the 2K, and unfortunately he overtook me with 100 to go, and I just couldn't catch his little legs as he sped past. So, yeah, I owe him a few dollars in the next few weeks.
Did you run a good time? That's the main thing, isn't it?
Yeah, I was reasonably happy with my time. Other than that, pretty similar to last year, and I've put on a couple of kegs, so it's always sort of nice to be able to maintain what I've been doing. So we'll run another one after Christmas, so hopefully then I can knock a few more seconds off and beat Hayden.
He must have been pretty happy. He came out and told us to ask you about it.
Oh, he hasn't shut up about it for the last week, as I'm sure you could all imagine, knowing Hayden.
You said you put on a couple of kilos. What's your weight now compared to where you started last season?
Yeah, so I'm about 100 kilos at the moment, and last year I think I was about 98 for a lot of the year. So I think that's a pretty good weight for me at the moment, and sort of with my history of injuries and things, it's been a pretty slow build and to get to my sort of goal weight, and I think I'm still sort of going. I've still got a few more kilos left in me, but that's something we're just monitoring with Jason Webber, just to make sure that I can still continue to train as I am and get through. The most important thing is I'm fit and available to play, and then over the next few years we'll keep sort of seeing where I'm at and seeing sort of how far I can get to with my weight and my body.
When we look at what's happened during trading, I guess the obvious thing is that competition is going to be a lot hotter for key position places, isn't it? Mainly down the other end, but if Brendan Cox gets pushed back, then that may keep competition up down your end as well.
Yeah, no, absolutely. It's a great problem to have. When you look at the really good teams of the competition, that's what there is, competition for spots. We've spoken about if you're going to win a premiership and go deep in finals, you need to have at least 30 players who you can rely on to come in and fill the job. There's always going to be injuries and things happen, so I think it's really exciting, and it's going to be an exciting sort of next couple of months to see how sort of Rory comes in and Jesse and sort of all those new guys, how they compete for spots. I think it'll be really good for the group going forward.
Do you have any idea what that back six will look like at the moment?
Not yet. We haven't had too many. We obviously haven't had any football sort of type drills, practice matches or anything yet. So we'll just sort of see. There's guys coming back, like Griffin Logue's coming back from injury, who'll definitely put his hand up for selection. Like I said, Brendan Cox can go either way. Luke Ryan had a great year last year. We've obviously got Nathan Wilson who had a great year. Stephen Hill, Connor Blackley have both played down back. So I think it's a really good problem to have that we've got plenty of guys who can go through there. So yeah, like I said, this next couple of months will be really important for everyone really to try and stamp their authority and cement a spot.
You've put on a couple of kilos. What was the reason for that, and why do you need to add a couple more?
Oh, I think looking long term at my ideal weight, and I think I'd like to be a little bit heavier, a little bit stronger, and maintain my sort of run and athleticism. So that's sort of, I'm always sort of in talks with Jason Webber, the strength coach, about where's my optimum weight and where I can play my best football, and that's what I'll sort of continue to do until I find that. Then it'll just keep searching until I find the right spot.
You and Joel were the ones that Ross generally allocated to lock down on the gun. How did you find that through the course of the year, and did it take a toll on you mentally and physically, or did you get through okay?
I got through okay. It takes a toll, definitely mentally and physically. It's not an easy thing to do, but it's something that I think Joel and I both sort of relish and look forward to, having that responsibility to take on those sort of really key power forwards, and it's the only way you're going to get better is to play on that type of player, and that's why it's exciting coming into this pre-season. Not only to get to play on Tabernar, Cox, McCarthy, that I get to play on Lobb and Hogan as well. So I think for myself and Joel in our development, that'll be crucial for us as well, just to play on those sort of really good, strong forwards.
Does adding a couple of kilos help you handle those big monster forwards, do you think?
Yeah, it allows me to sort of get a bit stronger as well. Hopefully, when you look at some of the sort of big forwards in the competition, they can be up around 105, 110 kilos. So if I can bridge that gap a little bit and then sort of maintain my real strengths, which is probably my speed and agility, and that when the ball hits the ground. So yeah, I think it will help.
With your broken leg, like how much further progressed are you this pre-season compared to last year? Been able to get a fair bit more work in over your off-season break as well?
Yep. Yeah, so I certainly have. Obviously, last pre-season I was coming off pretty much a couple of years out, so everything was very slow and progressed quite slow during the pre-season, and I sort of trained twice a week and was monitored very heavily. I'm not jumping back straight into doing sort of all training and completely everything yet, just because of the last few years I've had, but we've already spoken about doing a little bit more football, and then definitely after Christmas, all 3 sessions and all 3 football sessions, which will be really handy. Just the more sort of run I get in the legs over a long term, I think when you get a couple of pre-seasons in a row of good quality training, it can really pay dividends, which I hope will happen over the next year or two.
When Fifey came back from his broken leg, it took him a year.
Can you look this way?
It took him probably a year to get back to what he felt like was his best footy in his second season. Do you sort of feel like that'll be the same case for you as well, going into your second year back?
Yeah, hopefully. I'm definitely aiming to sort of get a lot better and take my game to another level. Myself and Fifey, obviously we're coming from different levels. He's coming from a Brownlow medal. I'm coming from playing 20 games when I broke my leg. So I'll hope that I've got a lot more improvement in me, and I think I'm still aiming for the next sort of 5 or 6 years to really hit my best football. So it's just going to be a gradual improvement, and I want to get as good as I can, as quickly as I can to give us the best chance of being successful. So yeah, what Nathan's been able to do gives me confidence, and I hope I can take a similar path and just keep going, keep improving.
Of the club's tall players, the interesting one's Brennan Cox, because he plays forward but has a history as a junior of being back. Where do you see Brennan, and does he have sort of opportunity and possibility at both ends, do you think, for Freo?
Yeah, I definitely think he's got opportunity at both ends. You see with Brennan, he's just got a great football brain. When he's got the ball in his hands, he makes really good decisions. He's really good at ground level for a big man. Obviously, he played pretty much all his footy forward last year, but I remember he played down defence in a JLT game for us against Adelaide, and I just sort of really like what he does, because he's that really smart footballer and he's sort of really good to play with in that sense. So I sort of always saw myself with that kind of player as well, be able to sort of go both ends and play different positions, which I think helps, and I think he's definitely got that. And I think with Brennan, he's really hungry this year to sort of get in there and cement his spot, and I don't think it bothers him which end of the ground it is.
Of the monsters you played on, who was the toughest?
Tom Hawkins was quite tough when we gave up 23 unanswered goals on him. It wasn't a fun day. So obviously him, Buddy, I played on him early last year, and he's something a bit different, a big power forward who can move like a bloke who's 90 kilos as well. So there's plenty out there, and each has got their different challenge. So that's why if I can sort of build my body, be a little bit stronger, maintain some speed and endurance, then it sort of gives me a sort of better tools to play on all of those different players.
Stephen Hill, obviously quad injuries and soft tissue restricted him to 13 games last year. Do you think he can finally shake that quad injury? Obviously another setback now to come back and have an impact next year.
Yeah, Steve's probably one of my favourite players to play with. He gives absolutely everything, and he's just a great sort of football brain, very smart player. He'll do a lot of hard work over the next few months. Obviously he's had those issues before, but like our strength coaches and physios and docs are working really closely with Steve, and he's played over 200 games now, I think, and he'll be vital for us in a leadership role when he plays. So yeah, I've got no doubt that Steve will do everything right to get himself back and to continue to be a great player for this club.
Have you spoke to him about the quad injury? Like, how frustrating is it? Because it seems like at points they don't really know what's going on.
He's obviously frustrated. I've spoken to him a couple of times, but Steve always keeps a very positive mindset about things and never gets too down on himself. So look, he'll be fine. Like, there's always these little injuries that happen when you're not 100% sure of exactly what's causing it, but we've got some great strength staff and physios that'll help him out. Yeah, I'm sure Steve will be fine, and from every time I speak to him, he's in a great mindset. So yeah, he'll be right.